In the harsh and unpredictable climates of medieval Europe, soldiers, travellers and craftsmen faced the constant challenge of staying warm without reliable access to firewood. Forests could be scarce and, transporting fuel across long distances was slow and dangerous. Yet medieval engineers devised a clever solution that allowed camps, workshops and even small fortifications to stay warm for hours without consuming large amounts of wood: the fire basket. This seemingly simple device was far more than a metal container. It was a sophisticated thermal tool, designed to maximize heat output while minimizing fuel consumption. Its ingenuity has survived the centuries, and today anyone interested in survival, bushcraft or historical reenactment can adapt this method to modern camping or emergency heating. The medieval fire basket relied on airflow and containment to amplify heat. Unlike an open campfire, the medieval fire basket was designed to concentrate heat efficiently. Typically constructed from iron or other heat-resistant metals, the basket held combustible material, sometimes coal, dried peat or charcoal, while allowing air to circulate freely through perforations or a lattice design. This controlled airflow fueled a steady, long-lasting burn without requiring constant attention or additional fuel. Soldiers could place multiple baskets around a camp, providing localized warmth for cooking or sleeping areas. The clever combination of containment and ventilation allowed medieval camps to stay warm with minimal wood, a crucial advantage during long campaigns or sieges. Modern applications of this principle are, pretty straightforward. A metal container with holes or a mesh design can serve as a fire basket for camping. Using charcoal, compressed wood briquettes, or even natural biomass, you can easily replicate the medieval effect. Intense, localized heat with far less fuel than a traditional campfire. By placing the basket safely on stones or a metal plate, you protect the ground while, maximizing efficiency. The choice of fuel was critical to the basket's effectiveness. Medieval engineers understood that not all combustible materials were created equal. While wood was common, coal and charcoal were actually preferred for fire baskets because, they burned hotter and longer with less smoke. Peat, where it was available, provided a slow-burning warmth, which was just ideal for overnight heating in tents or shelters. By selecting the right fuel, medieval users could maintain warmth for hours without tending the fire constantly. That meant soldiers were free to focus on other tasks, and of course it reduced their exposure to the elements. For modern survivalists or campers, it's a good idea to consider using charcoal or compressed wood briquettes in a fire basket setup. These fuels, they mimic the long-burning efficiency of medieval practices while still being widely available today. Peat might be a bit harder to source, but small natural biomass options like dried seed pods or hardened pine resin can achieve a similar effect in controlled conditions. Placement and safety, really amplified the basket's utility. Medieval fire baskets were not placed haphazardly. Engineers and soldiers, they knew that the proximity to people and structures truly mattered. baskets were often elevated on stones or hung on chains to radiate heat evenly and, more importantly, to prevent accidental fires. In tents or temporary shelters, placing the basket in a shallow metal tray or a protective ring kept the flame contained while maximizing thermal radiation. The careful placement also reduced smoke inhalation, which was honestly an often overlooked hazard in crowded camps or enclosed spaces. These days, anyone using a fire basket for camping or, backyard survival scenarios can follow the same principles. Just elevate the basket on a heat-resistant platform, keep a safe distance from anything flammable, and if you're indoors or in a tent-like shelter, use a metal tray underneath. These steps, they really do mirror the old medieval wisdom and make sure the method stays practical and safe for us today. The fire basket was also honestly quite multi-purpose. It served as a cooking tool and at the same time as a bit of a morale booster. Beyond heating, the medieval fire basket was, really quite versatile. Soldiers could roast small meals directly over the coals or even suspend a pot above the basket for boiling water and cooking. The radiant heat created a communal focal point in the camp, where soldiers and travellers gathered for warmth, food, and, a bit of conversation. This dual function, practical heating and social utility, demonstrates how medieval ingenuity solved multiple problems with a single tool. For modern applications, a small fire basket in a campsite or backyard setting can also serve multiple purposes. You can use it for cooking, boiling water, or simply providing a warm gathering spot during those cold evenings. By combining heating and cooking, you reduce the overall fuel requirement, staying true to the efficiency of the original medieval design. This medieval fire basket proves that, honestly, resourcefulness often outlasts modern convenience. The brilliance of the fire basket, lies in its simplicity and adaptability. It required no electricity, no complex engineering, and just minimal fuel. Yet it solved the fundamental problem of staying warm in challenging conditions. Modern campers, survivalists, and history enthusiasts can, learn from this centuries-old technique, applying it to off-grid living, emergency preparedness, or even recreational bushcraft. By understanding airflow, fuel choice, placement, and multi-purpose use, you can recreate a centuries-old solution that, honestly, is just as effective today. If you want more forgotten survival techniques, historically grounded innovations, and practical outdoor strategies that work in modern life, subscribe to Backyard Wisdom, share this guide with fellow history enthusiasts, and help keep these timeless skills alive for the next generation.